Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here with yet another 4-string cigar box guitar lesson. It's funky, greasy, down and dirty, bluesy slide licks by request. I've had a whole bunch of people ask for these types of lessons, so I figured I might as well just go ahead and throw out some of the licks that I play a lot of. So I've got a metal slide. I don't know the brand of this slide. It's a typical metal slide, that's all I can tell you. And it sounds really good. I don't even remember where I picked this one up. I've got so many slides, I can't keep up with them. So I'm using a 4-string cigar box guitar here. This is tuned to G. So this is a G string. This is an A string tuned down to G. And a D string tuned normal to D. A 3rd string G tuned normal to G. And a B string or 2nd string tuned normal to B. Super common 4-string G tuning. So, first of all, why do I use G tuning? Because you can capo up to A, B, C, D, E, and F, and so forth. It's very convenient that way. You don't have to tune it to G, but it really does work well for a lot of different songs in a lot of different keys. So, that's why I use G. Of course, you can also use a capo to bring it up to A or B or C or whatever. So, first of all, I'm going to show you my thumb and my first finger and what I do with these. I've got my thumb on the 2nd string and my first finger's on the 1st string. So when I pluck the 2nd string with my thumb, I'm sliding up from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret, and then I'm using my first finger to pluck the 1st string. So here's the 2nd string, and I slide up 1 fret, and I use my first finger to play that 1st string. Now both of them are resonating. I can do the same thing with the next 2 strings. And remember, when you slide, you're going to be sliding right on top of the fret. So you want to stop, depending on the note that you want to hit, right on top of the fret. So let's say I want to go to the 5th fret. That's my 5th fret right there. Not this one, but that one. If I want to go to the 12th fret, it's going to be this one. That one right there, not that one, if that makes any sense. So accuracy is obviously real important. So what I would do is start out slow, slide up from, let's say, the 2nd string, use your thumb to pluck it. Notice how I have my first finger behind the slide. You may not be able to tell that by looking at it, but my first finger stabilizes my slide. So I'm actually dragging against the string with the skin of my first finger. Most of the time, that's how I play slide. Sometimes I don't touch the string with the finger at all, but most of the time I do, because that's what gives me the control. So that first finger is touching the slide right here. And I'm dragging against the string. And the drag slows you down, so it keeps your slide from zipping all over the place. Right? So if you want everything stabilized and perfect and accurate, I'm using my thumb to drag against the back of the neck, and I'm using my first finger sliding on the string without pressing it down behind the slide. And that slows down your slide from zipping all over the place. That's how I do it. Now, some people don't prefer to have that drag on it, but boy, I sure like it. So let's go back to what we were doing. We're on the 3rd fret, sliding up to the 5th. So I'm plucking that 2nd string and sliding up, and my first finger is dragging across the strings, not pressing down, but dragging across the strings. So pluck that second string with your thumb, slide up, and pluck that first string. Now we do the same thing on the second and third. Now I can go all the way down to the fourth string. Do the same thing. I'm sliding from 3 to 5 on the fourth string. Then I'm using my first finger to pluck the third string on the 5th fret. All the while, I've got my thumb touching the rear of the neck to stabilize my hand. Of course, there's all sorts of different ways you can do this. You can play 2 strings that are not consecutive. In other words, there's a string in the middle of them. So I can pluck the third string and then the first string. Or I can do the fourth and the second. Or, of course, I can do consecutive strings that are next to each other. That's the third and second, from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret. Here's the 3rd and 1st. And when you do that, you're going to get some resonation off that 2nd string, even though I'm not plucking it, because I'm sliding on it. So that's a good way to practice to get steady. I'm using my thumb and first finger to pick. Thumb and first finger. Remember, that thumb is pivoting off the back of the neck to stabilize it. So I don't do this. You don't want to sound like a drunken guitar player. Another thing that you can do is hammer to a string. So I'm going to pluck the 2nd string and hammer on the 2nd fret and slide up to the 3rd. When you do that, you're just lightly pressing down the slide on the string, but you're not pressing it down to where it presses on the fret. That's a whole nother thing. And again, thumb and first finger, 2nd and 3rd string, and then the 2nd and 1st, and the 4th and 3rd. So here I'm playing from the 10th to the 12th, plucking the 2nd, and then the 1st. And then I'm plucking the 3rd and the 2nd. So I'm sliding up 2 frets. So I'm just doing 2 strings at a time. The 2nd and 1st, the 3rd and the 2nd, and the 4th and 3rd. So let's do some hammers. I'm going to do a hammer on and slide up with the slide on my finger. What I'm going to do is play the 3rd string, and I'm going to slide up to the 3rd fret, and I play the 2nd string open, 2nd string, So a lot of people ask me about the chords on a slide. How do I play chords with a slide? Well, just like you play single notes, except you're going to be playing more than one string at a time. So let's say we're going to slide up to the 5th fret. That's going to be G, A, B, C. So I'm using my first finger right here, touching the strings, and my thumb on the back. Again, that first finger stabilizes the slide, behind the slide, on the strings. So I'm sliding basically with my first finger and the slide at the same time. I'm not pressing down with either the first finger or the slide. So just pretend like there's a slide on your first finger as well. That keeps the overtones from getting crazy because that first finger is touching all 3 strings behind the slide. And if you want to grind into it, just do a slow slide. And again, that first finger is pivoting off the back of the neck to help you keep that slide from zipping all over the place. So that's a chord slide up, just like the single note. Same process. That's the single note, and here's the chord. I'm using the thumb on the 4th string, and I'm using my first finger on the 3rd string, and my second finger on the 2nd, and my 3rd on the 1st. So 1 finger per string, basically. So here's a cool lick. Take your slide and put it on the 2nd string on the 11th fret. Slide up 1 fret to the 12th. Using my thumb to pluck it. Then I'm using my first finger to pick the 1st string. This is what it looks like without the slide. Plucking the 2nd, sliding up, then plucking the 1st. Now replace your finger with the slide. Heavy vibrato. So how do you do that? Well, it takes some practice. Basically, it's your wrist pivoting. One thing I like to do is do a slow slide and then speed it up. So I might go. So that first note is a slow slide up. You can go all day long with these different licks and so forth. And remember, first finger and the thumb is the easy way to start out. I'm only using my first finger and thumb. Thumb on the 2nd string, first finger on the 1st. Now jump to the 2nd and 3rd. Using my thumb to pluck the big string, first finger to pluck the 2nd. Now we go all the way down to the 4th string, plucking the 4th and then the 3rd. And I'm only sliding up 1 fret. I'm doing the same lick on the top 2 strings, the middle 2, and the lower 2. One more thing. First finger and thumb. This is a typical fancy guitar lick, slide guitar lick. So I'm plucking that 2nd string with my thumb on the 12th fret. Going backwards. that should give you a lot to chew on, so have fun with that. Be sure to subscribe. Check out my website, jagshouse.com. Cigar box guitar, handmade in my own home for 20 years. And we'll see you next time.